Okay, so this is my great grandfather and my grandfather. My great grandfather on the left and my grandfather on the right. And basically, in Arberesh culture, every family has something called a Ngjurje or Ofiqe, which is kind of like a nickname. So I wouldn't go to my village and say, I'm Martin DiMaggio, son of whoever, grandson of whoever, because they would say, which DiMaggio? I would say, my Ofiqe or my Ngjurje. And the Ngjurje shows the history of your family. So one of my cousins, her other grandmother, her family in Ngjurje is Bella Mantrat, and Bella is come. This comes from Italian or Sicilian. Bella means beautiful, and we don't know whether it means mantia, which means tablecloth, or lover. So no one knows because sometimes the nicknames are cheeky or funny, or did somebody in her family's ancestry make beautiful tablecloths, or was somebody a very good lover? We don't know, and this makes for funny conversations when someone tells you they're in Georgia. My family's was originally Scarparet, which means shoemakers, and then we have another one, Gordurat, which means the dirty ones. And sometimes there's a shift in meaning. So we don't know whether that means someone was dirty or whether that means someone was like extra clean. Either way, that's their unfortunate Georgia. And then Pafundi, which means flat buttocks. They insist that it means eternal, but nobody uses the word Pafundi to mean eternal. Um, Chinarellerat is Chinaret are people that work with carbon, and they don't know why they have that. Pilakiat means pilots. Was somebody a pilot or were they a pirate, or which one is it? Either way, that's their nickname. And then mine is Masru Natari because my great grandfather was called Natali, him on the left. And he was a village translator, he was a shoemaker, he was a shepherd, he was a volunteer mayor for 30 years. He was really well known, and so that gets you the title Mastro, which is like maestro in Italian. And so when somebody says, Equitia, whose are you? They don't say who are you, they say Equitia. And I would say I am from Masunatali, Yam to Masunatarit. And then their response would be, your father was he Chico, like Francesco? They say, you thought Chico-ish. Because they'll recognize these in Georgia, they locate you in the community. And it's something that Italo-American Arberesh people struggle with because they don't always, after 4 generations or so, they don't always have this knowledge. And so they go looking for, I'm from the Crishone family. And then they discover that there are like 10 Maria Grazia Crishone and they don't know which one they are. Um, whereas if they knew their Njoria, they would have immediate access. Everyone would be able to tell them who they are. And again, I wrote Skiptar nie kannte tradition. It means Albanians don't have this tradition. So it's unique to Arberesh culture in relation to Albanian culture, but Sicilians have it to a certain extent, and Maltese people have it. It's very common in Malta. And then again, about the identity, many people claim, oh, is it blood? Is it what is it? Is it connection to original Albanians that settled there, etc.? And there's none of that. If your family speaks a language or has the costume, Girona, which there is my mum wearing it, then you are Arberesh. If you have the language, the dress, or the you were baptized in the Byzantine eparchy, the church, then either one of those three makes you Arberesh. And many families became Arberesh because they relocated from non-Arberesh villages in Sicily. And that's the case with my great grandfather and 5 of his friends. And so there are families, although my great grandfather married a local woman, my great grandmother. Other families entirely, all grandparents shifted or moved, and then their children, grandchildren, great grandchildren are Arberesh because they have the language and the church. And then on the other hand, there are families that moved out of the village and became Latins, Litin. So our word for non-Arbëresh is Latins, Litin. Why? Because we're all Italian, but we're not Latin, and the other Italians are Latins. You can see some of the unfortunate early 90s Italian fashion, but his wife is wearing the costume, and it's in the Byzantine church. So again, I don't know if anyone noticed, but the singing was in Greek. So there's also another element to the culture where the liturgical language is Greek. And also, you might have noticed some members of my family are very blonde. Um, that's a thing. We have some families that are blonde because we're not just people that descend from Albanians. We're not. We are also local North Palermitan Sicilians, and there was a Norman domination of the region.